V9 and F7, phones from Vivo and OPPO. We recently covered them both here on C4 Retech, and these phones have been, well, they've had a lot in common: high resolution selfie cameras, similar pricing. Both are from brands that spend a lot on marketing. So we've got quite a few requests on how they stack up, which is the better pick. Well, let's find out in today's video. But before we do, if this is your first time here, or in case you just can't remember, my name's Ash, you're watching C4 Retech, and this is our full comparison of the OPPO F7 with the Vivo V9. Before we begin, here's a card to our latest giveaway, and I will also be leaving a link in the description below. And while you're down there, hit that bell icon to get notified every time we upload a new video. The F7 and the V9 share a lot of design choices. Not the best choices though. Both are made out of plastic, they have a notch up top, and they have slim bottom chins, a fingerprint scanner to the back, and just below that, the branding and Corning's Gorilla Glass for display protection. Although the version is different. It's Gorilla Glass 5 on the F7, 3 on the V9. Talking about the differences, the V9 has a slightly higher screen to body ratio given its smaller overall dimensions, but guys, even when I have them side by side, it's not really noticeable. What is quite noticeable though is how the F7's back reflects light. It looks really cool, kind of mimics a glass build. The diamond black variant with that pattern looks even better. Now while the V9 doesn't look great, it has a curved back for better grip. It's also lighter than the F7 by around 8 grams. So both phones have their own sets of pros and cons, and it's up to you, the end user, to decide what works better for you. So there's no clear winner here. Here's a poll, let us know what you prefer. Now it's not just the build, even the displays have a lot in common. Both are 19:9 IPS LCD panels with a pixel resolution of 1080 by 2280, commonly called as Full HD+. We mentioned in our review that the F7 screen is a bit too reflective and doesn't offer a great viewing experience outdoors. And the V9 screen is no different. I experienced the same issue. Now let's talk about the differences. There are two. One, size. The F7 has a 6.23-inch display, while the V9 has a slightly larger 6.3-inch display. Another is the color accuracy. The V9 has a mild pink hue. The representation of colors is noticeably better on the F7's display, and hence the F7 scores a point here. Let's now get into something that will widen the gap even further. Yep, we're gonna talk about performance. The Vivo V9 sports the Snapdragon 626 chip underneath, and the F7 sports the MediaTek Helio P60. Usually, MediaTek vs Snapdragon, that's a no-brainer, Snapdragon wins, right? But not this time. The MediaTek Helio P60 has 4 high-powered Cortex A73 cores clocked at 2 GHz each, while all 8 cores in the 626 are Cortex A53, same as the remaining 4 power-efficient cores on the Helio P60. The Helio P60, that is the newer, faster chip from MediaTek. It's flat out the better chip here. Now don't get me wrong, the 626 performs well too. With regular day-to-day usage, you won't really notice a lot of difference. But when it comes to intense tasks like gaming or maybe video rendering, the Helio P60 on the F7 blows the 626 on the V9 out of water. Neither phone has issues with overheating, with both remaining cool even during long gaming sessions. Now, despite being a lot more powerful, the F7 still manages to last as long as the V9 does. Two reasons. One, the MediaTek Helio P60 chip is manufactured on the 12nm FinFET technology compared to 14nm technology on the 626. Number two, the F7 sports a slightly larger 3400 mAh battery compared to 3260 mAh on the V9. In our time with these phones, with moderate usage, both phones manage to last a couple of days on a single charge. Charging times are quite similar, both take about 2 hours to go from 0 to 100. When it comes to the cameras though, there is one glaring difference. The F7 has a single 16-megapixel f1.8 camera to the back, while the V9 has a dual camera setup consisting of a 16-megapixel f2.0 primary shooter and a 5-megapixel depth sensor. And due to that, when it comes to portrait mode shots, the V9 performs noticeably better. The edge detection is more accurate. In challenging conditions like this, the F7 clearly struggles. But when it comes to regular images, there isn't a lot of difference between the two. The colors on the image shot with the V9 are more natural, while the F7 tends to oversaturate them a little bit. Now, this is something we see a lot of popular manufacturers do. Zooming in, you can see the F7 captures more detail from the scene, the images are noticeably sharper, the dynamic range is more or less similar. Under low light, given the wider aperture, the F7 clicks better images. They are brighter, sharper, and have considerably less noise. Here are a few more comparisons for you. The F7 also captures better low-light selfies with its 25 megapixel front snapper. Look at the wall behind Sundar, or his neck. The difference in the amount of noise is clearly visible. The F7 selfies are also sharper. The same applies to selfies shot under good lighting conditions. The V9's 24 megapixel selfie shooter gets the skin tones right, but with regards to sharpness and dynamic range, the F7 is definitely the better one here. When it comes to portrait mode selfies, there's no comparison. The F7 is far better. It can even do HDR processing in this mode. The edge detection and background blur are more or less the same with both phones. With video, on paper the V9 has an advantage. It can shoot 4K while the F7 is restricted to 1080p. But the difference in sharpness is not really noticeable here. The clip shot with the F7 in fact has better dynamic range. The sky isn't blown out unlike the clip shot with the V9. The trees are also a tad brighter. So overall, unless you prioritize rear portrait mode over everything else, which I highly doubt you will, the F7 is the better camera phone here. Let's now move on and talk software. The F7 runs on ColorOS 5.0, the V9 runs on FunTouchOS 4.0. Both are based on Android 8.1 Oreo and are very far removed from stock. Hell, FunTouchOS is far from Android itself. Yep, it looks very inspired from iOS. Right from the dialer app, the clock app, to the icons, to the notification panel, everything is very iOS inspired. On the features front, both skins have a lot going for them. We can clone apps, use gestures instead of on-screen keys for navigation and so on. There are a number of motion-based actions available too. One of which is Race to Wake, which along with Face Unlock works really well. Unlocking the phone is as easy as this. All that being said, weirdly, most games didn't utilize the entire screen real estate of the V9 despite enabling the full screen mode in settings. It looks like a serious enough issue, so we expect Vivo to address it in an update. Anyway, barring these minor niggles on the V9, the user experience is quite similar on both phones. Now before we wrap up, let's take a look at the Sunries. Both phones have single downwards firing speakers. The F7's is moderately louder. The cellular reception, call quality, audio via the 3.5mm headphone jack are all equally good across both phones. The fingerprint scanners are again equally fast, but Face Unlock is considerably faster and more accurate on the OPPO F7. Also, thanks to the MediaTek Helio P60, the F7 has support for dual 4G VoLTE, something that's missing on even flagships today. Now, let us talk price. Both phones come with 4 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of onboard storage. The F7 is priced at 21,990. The V9 is priced 1,000 rupees higher. The F7 also has a 6128 variant at 27,000 rupees, but let's not take that into account since the V9 doesn't have a higher end variant. My honest verdict, the F7 is the clear winner considering the number of things that it is better at compared to the V9. That too at a slightly cheaper price tag. I mean, unless a slightly more ergonomic build and rear camera portrait mode are of utmost importance to you and you don't mind losing out on quite a bit of pretty much everything else, then yeah, the V9 is okay for the price. But if you want a rapid fast phone for an awesome gaming experience, good rear and selfie cameras, a relatively color accurate display, a super loud speaker and a slightly better optimized software experience, the F7 is the way to go. Do you agree with what I've had to say in this video? Is there something I'm missing on? Let us know in the comments below. If you do want to purchase either one of these phones, please use the links in the description. It'll help the channel out. And if you hated this video, you know what to do. But if you did like it, go ahead, drop us a like, subscribe to C4E Tech and click on that bell icon to make sure you get notified each and every time we upload a new video. So I guess it's time I bid you adieu. Thanks a lot for watching. Till next time, this here is Ash. You've been watching C4E Tech and I'm signing off for now. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.